Welcome to 80s in the Sand.
Faith, freedom, and the best music of the 80s and 90s. You're listening to Sunny 93.3. I got a beautiful woman here with me in paradise. What's your name, young lady?
You know who I am.
I know. I'm just teasing. My beautiful wife, Heidi, and I are at 80s in the Sand. It's kind of darn early here right now, isn't it?
It is.
You know where it's even earlier?
At home.
Yeah, so folks that are listening, we're 2 hours ahead of you right now. So let me tell you, 2 hours from now, things are going to be almost the same. Just so you know. But here's where we're at. We're at 80s in the Sand, and I'm super excited because I actually have some people lined up to talk to us today, Heidi.
Oh, cool.
So yesterday we happened upon two people, which was awesome, but, you know, it's kind of early out here, so not everybody's up this early. So we decided to actually try to, line some people up and stuff.
That's a good idea.
So we're going to be talking with a gentleman from the band The Reflex. Later today, they actually have a sand volleyball tournament between them and another band called Rockstar.
Oh, fun.
And these are two cover bands that come out here. They've been part of the event from the first year.
Yeah, they have. 3 years in a row now.
They are pretty darn cool. It's a great, great group. And a lot of the folks that come out here are big fans of them now and from all over the place. But going to be chatting with Chris from The Reflex. Also going to be visiting with the inventor of the video game Centipede. So for those of you who played the game Centipede growing up, if that was a game that you played, I'm going to be visiting with the man who invented that when he was 13 years old. And then he sold it to Steve Jobs, who then sold it to Atari. And the rest, as they say, is history. We're going to be chatting with him. And then I've got a really fun guy, Rick C., that I'm going to be chatting with. He does karaoke and he does all kinds of fun music and stuff out here. So we'll be chatting with him as well. It's all on the way.
Ricky C.
I think it's Rick C. I guess we'll find out. I've known the guy 3 years. You don't think I know who I'm talking to? All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour, live from Punta Cana, Dominican Republic on Sunny 93.3.
Before you know it, Christmas will be here. Are you ready? If you plan to use a credit card while shopping, make sure you have the very best credit card for you. It's free to click around and see what we can do for you at bettercreditcards.net. We have options from many different banks and different credit card companies who put out their best offers to earn your business. See if we can help you get a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net. Bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
Sunny 93.3, thank you so much for listening. We're broadcasting from 80s in the Sand, and I've got Drew here. Now, this is kind of cool. I've finally had a chance to meet Drew. We've been friends on Facebook for a little while, and I've known of you for the last few years because you've been coming to 80s in the Sand from the beginning, haven't you?
I have, and it's just an amazing event. And just getting to meet all the stars and just walking around and being able to just talk to them is just fantastic. And
something that's kind of neat, Drew is a bit of a star to a lot of people here as well because you invented a game that a lot of us have probably played, and if we haven't played it, we certainly have known somebody else that has, Centipede. Now tell me, how in the world did that come about?
Well, it's an interesting story. Primarily, a friend of mine and I, at age 13, we were in a private school in northern Jersey, and we're sitting one day in the computer lab, and here, when we're talking about computers, we're talking about Apple computers that, from the beginning.
Yeah.
And we said to ourselves, we were looking at the ground, and we saw this centipede crawling on the floor.
Yeah.
And my friend said, wouldn't it be fun to create a game so that we could actually shoot at a centipede? And that's how we created it. And we created it in such a way that it could be accepted by any platform in the entire country.
And that was kind of a unique thing to do, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all ones and zeros, and it's all binary language and all open source. So anybody could have taken it and gone and run with it and put it on any platform that they had.
And open source was not widely accepted. It wasn't something that everybody was doing back then, was it?
No, actually open source was just newly formed, and Centipede is what got it started.
That's really cool. Now, this game has gone on to do amazing things, but you actually sold it to Steve Jobs, is that right?
That's correct. I sold it to Steve Jobs in 1981. Stephen Jobs and I met up because my father, who was a physician, met his physician, and Stephen Jobs heard about it through his physician and called my father to tell him he wanted to see what the game could do.
That's awesome. Now, you were telling me the other day about a meeting where you had a chance to meet some makers of other games like Pac-Man and some...
Yeah, amazingly enough, when I got out there on Stephen Jobs' dime, he sent a plane ticket for my father and I to go out there. And when we got out there, Stephen Jobs met us at the airport and drove us to his home. He was still in the garage, of course. He wasn't as big as he was as he progressed. And there, standing there, were three people that would blow your mind. The guy who invented Pac-Man had presented his idea to Stephen Jobs. The girl who invented Frogger.
Yeah.
And Stephen Jobs was best friends with Bill Gates, and I got to meet Bill Gates at that time.
So think about that. And now, back at that time, they weren't nearly as famous as they are now, but they were famous back then because they were kind of entrepreneurs that were doing something that nobody knew if this was going to catch on. But did you kind of even have an inkling back then of what a big deal that meeting was?
Well, it was interesting because when we met, I saw the division starting to happen because I could see that Stephen Jobs wanted to go one way and Bill Gates wanted to go another. So you could see the competitive edge starting to form when they first got together. And it wasn't until maybe 2, 3, 4 years later when Stephen Jobs presented Centipede to Atari to pick it up in 1982, and that's when Atari put it out in their own version of it. Yeah. Stephen Jobs made $500,000 to selling it to Atari. Now, none of this you're going to be able to find on the internet. None at all.
Okay.
All of this was all private meetings and all behind closed doors. Now, there's a reason for that.
Okay.
And that reason was because Pong was so popular at the time, Stephen Jobs didn't want anything to happen to that reputation of that game. So none of this was documented. None of it was... I got a handwritten check from him for $10,000.
Oh, wow.
And
how old were you at the time?
I was 13 years old.
13-year-old kid. And $10,000 to a 13-year-old.
10 grand. I mean, 10 grand back in 1980 is almost 100 grand now.
But the other thing is, think about this. The idea that you and your friend had, hey, we could shoot these centipedes. That was such a good idea because it's an iconic game that everybody knows Centipede. Now, the cool thing is you're working on a new version of Centipede now.
I am. And... but there's a secret that I'm going to tell you about.
Oh, what's that?
And that secret is that I am buying the rights back of the old game, going to upgrade it and put it out with the 40th anniversary of Centipede coming out in 2020.
That is fantastic.
And it's going to blow people's minds.
So 2020, there's going to be a new version out.
A new version of the old game.
Nice.
And a new version of my new game that's coming out. And it's all three-dimensional. And it's using cutting-edge technology that has never been used in a phone app before.
That is fantastic.
So it's all experimental. And
we were also talking a little bit ago, you said there's some movie things you're working on, potentially having like a Hollywood blockbuster-type movie with the game kind of being at the center of that as well.
Yeah. I'm talking with a couple of the WWE and a few others about possibly having Centipede as a representation of an idea about alien centipedes coming in during the Cold War. Nice. So we're thinking about that. We're kind of putting it together. And then also, in addition to that, we're looking at... I'm looking at having it discovered by Electronic Arts Games as well as Oculus.
That'd be awesome.
In the process of talking about it right now.
Well, we got to stay in touch, and as we've got these next little milestones, we're going to do some more interviews. Whether it's at the next 80s in the Sand, or if that happens before then, we can chat by over the phone as well.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to our rollout in... It'll be between March and April.
Nice.
And it's going to be a phone app first, so look for it on Google Play and the phone app store. And we're hoping everybody really takes to it and really experiments with it a little bit. Nice. It's just going to be a couple levels just to kind of give people the taste and flair for it. Nice. And then as you progress through the game, you'll be able to buy additional levels as you go up the scales.
So people listening that want to know more, how do they find you online?
www.insectware.com, and it's INSECTWARE.com. And that will tell you exactly what you need to know about the games. We also have all kinds of promotional materials that are there, like shirts and hats and cups and everything else that you would ever need or want. So.
A lot of fun stuff. Thanks for being a part of 80s in the Sand. Thanks for taking time to chat.
Hey, anytime. Thanks so much for asking about Centipede and this new rollout. That's going to be amazing.
I'm excited for you. I think it's going to be really cool. We're going to throw a link to his website so you can get all the details at facebook.com/sunnyradio.
If you have a drug problem, don't let it ruin your life. You can be in treatment as soon as tomorrow, and you can start to get clean in as little as 7 days. Take the first step to get drugs out of your life at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything, so you really have nothing to lose. Timeforrehab.com. Start your new life. You deserve it. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Sunny 93.3, thank you so much for listening on a Wednesday, broadcasting from 80s in the Sand, and I have Rick C. joining me right now. Rick, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing, John?
Very, very good. Now, you've been a part of this from the very beginning as well, haven't you?
Yes.
And we love seeing Rick C. here. Now, some folks at this event know you for karaoke, but that's not really what they should know you for. You do some amazing singing, and you do a lot of music of your own, don't you?
That's correct. I do.
Now, where are you based out of?
Detroit, Michigan.
And how long have you been doing what you're doing, Rick?
Oh, man, too many years to count. I don't know. A long time.
And how in the world did you get roped into this little gig?
You know what? Steve came into my little gig. I was playing at a piano bar, and he said, this guy can sing Journey. I'm going to hire his ass.
There you go.
And he did. He hired me, and ever since, I've been coming down here, helping out with the karaoke, trying to help with the live band karaoke. Having awesome people like you come up to sing.
Well, I like to come and have fun, but there's some really good singers here that do a really good job.
Yes, there are.
And now, when you are performing, what are your favorites to perform?
Definitely, I have to be Journey. I have to say, yes. That's my favorite. And tomorrow we'll be doing some Journey at the pool.
That would be Oh, you're going to be doing Journey?
Yes, we will.
That is fantastic.
Yes.
Well, I look forward to that.
And some Bon Jovi and some Tears for Fears.
Ah, see, that's really good. Now, for folks that want to find you online and do a little online stalking, how do they find you?
So it's Ricky C, RICKYSEE. You can find my Spotify, my SoundCloud, all my original music. On Facebook, it's also Ricky C, Facebook. So all my live stuff and all my gigs that I do back home in Detroit, my weddings and parties and stuff like that.
Very, very cool. Well, you do a phenomenal job here. Thank you for making 80s in the Sand awesome every year.
You're welcome.
And Ricky C. I think I've always called you Rick C.
It's Ricky C.
Ricky C. Oh, son of a gun. I've only known you 3 years.
It's all good, brother.
Let's just say this. There's a little alcohol involved at 80s in the Sand.
No, John.
A lot of people call a lot of people other things. But Ricky C., thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Get on out here and join us at 80s in the Sand in the future. The next one is not going to be in Punta Cana. It's going to be in Mexico. We're going to have all the information on our Facebook page on how you can book your tickets for next year. And I know there's some folks listening right now that were here in past years that didn't get to make it this year. You guys are missing out. Best year ever. So come on out and join us in 2020.
Best year ever. See you in Mexico 2020.
2020 in Mexico. All the details at facebook.com/sunnyradio.
The average household has thousands of dollars in credit card debt. If you find yourself in that position and you're making minimum payments, you could be in debt for a long time. Make sure you have the very best card with the very best rates at bettercreditcards.net. We work with different banks and different credit card companies who put out their best offers to earn your business. See if we can help you get a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net, bettercreditcards.net. That's bettercreditcards.net.
Sunny 93.3, thanks for listening on a Wednesday. Today's a big day here at 80s in the Sand. Coming up here in just a little bit, we're going to have the Rockstar versus the Reflex volleyball, and I've got Chris from the Reflex. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing okay. I'm kind of nervous about the game, though.
So now, where are you guys from? Where is the Reflex based out of?
We're based out of Southern California. You can probably tell it's not where I'm originally from, but it's where I live.
That sounds like a Southern California accent.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Not Southern California. No, I'm from London originally.
Very, very cool. Now, Reflex, you guys do a lot of new wave music. And how in the world did you get involved in this, and where did the whole concept come from?
Well, they had started the band as a three-piece before I joined, but I'd been looking for an 80s band for years because I love 80s music, and happened to see them at a show down in Orange County, and I was like, I want to join your band. I want to play guitar and bass for you guys. And I auditioned, and the rest is history.
So do you play guitar and bass at the same time? Probably not.
If you want me to, I will. But
it's like that. Was that the audition?
No, they let me do it on separate instruments.
Okay,
yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Now, what's your favorite song to play when you're on the stage? Is there one that you just go, boy, I can't wait till we get to this one?
I think maybe Relax is my favorite song to play. It just makes the crowd go crazy.
And you guys have been here all 3 years, is that right?
Yes, we've been here all 3 years that the festival's been going on.
So 80s, and my wife and I have been to all 3 of them as well, and I was almost positive that you guys are here. And you're always like rocking the pool down there. And you guys, when you're on stage, people just kind of pour out of all of the rooms here at 80s in the Sand. They come, and that pool just fills up. That's got to be really cool to be on stage playing for hundreds, if not sometimes over 1,000 people that are kind of, some of them maybe drinking a little too much and partying a whole lot. Yeah. But do you typically, do you guys have any other venues where you play where people are like in the pool like that?
Definitely not in the pool. We play a lot of bars, restaurants, summer concerts, but playing this 80s in the Sand was the first time I got to play for people just hanging out in the swimming pool. So it was definitely unique and, a great experience.
I remember the first year when we showed up here, because I had seen some photos of the resort ahead of time, but they didn't have it set up for this event. It was just the resort. You're like, what a beautiful place. And then we get here, and they had it all just kind of changed for the resort and turned it into 80s in the Sand, which is an amazing thing. But when I got back to that pool in the back, and there's a swimming pool. For those of you that have not seen the photos online, or if you haven't been here, I'll paint the picture. It's a beautiful, amazing swimming pool, and then they plunk a giant stage right in the middle of it. And you guys going out to perform on that stage, is that kind of weird to be standing there surrounded by water on 3 sides?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You're wondering if you're going to get electrocuted, but yeah, but you don't. And it's a fantastic experience. I mean, really, it's what you want. Everyone wants music at the pool, right? Yeah. But even better than music at the pool is live music at the pool.
And live music in the pool.
Live music in the pool, exactly.
Well, I wish you the very best on your big volleyball game, and also thanks for being a part of 80s in the Sand the last 3 years, and I hope you guys are a part of it in Mexico next year as well.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I look forward to, and I really hope to playing in Mexico next year, fingers crossed.
So if people listening would like to find you online, how do they find The Reflex on the old interweb?
So it's thereflex.com. Just remember it's 2 X's. The Reflex with 2 X's.com. And of course you can just punch that into Facebook or any other social media and you will find us.
Very, very nice. And I'll throw a link on our Facebook page to make it really easy to find. Facebook.com/Sunny Radio. Broadcasting from 80s in the Sand in Punta Cana on Sunny.
If you can't have a drink without it leading to another drink and another drink, maybe it's time to get help. There are programs designed to help take alcohol out of your life for good at timeforrehab.com. Don't let a drinking problem spill over into other areas of your life. Get help to quit drinking and start living the life you truly deserve at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Sunny 93.3, thank you so much for listening this morning. We're going to wrap up our little bonus hour here right now. What do you think, Heidi? You want to do this again next year?
Oh, of course. I won't miss it.
It is so much fun. It's 80s in the Sand. For those of you who've had a chance to listen the last few days and the next few days as well, you need to get on the website, get all the information for next year. Next year, Cheap Trick is going to be here.
Nice.
Next year, I'm trying to think who else is going to be
here.
Howard Jones.
It's a huge list already. Belinda Carlisle.
Oh, yeah, that's another one.
There's so many.
And you can see that at 80sinthesand.com. Look at the 2020 schedule. But coming up tonight, I'm excited. We got Tone Loc tonight. We got, I'm trying to think who else we have tonight. Glass Tiger, I think, or is that tomorrow night?
I'm just so excited.
Debbie Gibson's this week. I don't know which bands.
We need to probably look at that before we go on the radio.
I have a schedule somewhere, but it's in the. See, we're stepping outside to do this because we're in paradise. So why not broadcast from out in paradise? We're going to be back in the studio to finish up the regular John and Heidi show here in a moment. Heidi, thanks for joining me in paradise.
Oh, you're welcome.
We're in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, and our bag is here now too. It actually went to Jamaica.
Yes, we finally got our luggage.
So, young lady at Delta, thanks a bunch, man. She sent our bag to Jamaica. The bag said it had a blast, by the way. So
good.
It smells like ganja for some reason. I don't know what's going on there. But no, thanks for joining us for the John and Heidi Show bonus hour from Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, from 80s in the Sand. All the details at 80sinthesand.com.